being here. I know it's a busy time for everyone. Just, proud of our girls. Playing 4 games in 8 days is a lot, and so just trying to manage and balance those minutes, coming off a hard-fought loss at Marquette. Short turnaround, and felt like it was important. We went deep into our bench, and just really proud of the way we showed up. I mean, we had, again, some stretches where, the ball just wasn't falling for us, but some things that stood out to me. Only 3 turnovers in the second half. The last 5 minutes, we outscored them 14-3, so I just love the intensity and our players staying engaged. Just had some players come in, and I thought really had some good minutes for us, and that's how you extend those opportunities. And so proud of them for that. Ronnie's ability to pick up 2 quick fouls and just still stay engaged, and always putting this team first, and her leadership. Certainly really proud of Destiny. What a great milestone for her, and a young lady that's worked really hard, and this is just a start for her. I think, she's got a chance to really do some special things for us this year as well. So good team win. Certainly there was some tired legs out there at times, but I felt like, being able to go deep into our bench was really important for us today.
All right, we'll start with questions for the student athletes. Mark?
Destiny and Ronnie, Coach kind of talked about, the grind you guys are going through with your schedule. Offense comes and goes, but I guess I want to get your thoughts on the defense today. Milwaukee, I think they shot around 29%. But what stood out to you? What you think of that effort?
I like the effort that we had today. I think that it definitely could have been a lot more consistent, and we could have, upped it another notch maybe to start the game. But we did turn them over. We did keep that defensive intensity for the most part. We're in passing lanes, and I think that it showed.
Yeah, like we always talk about not letting up and staying aggressive throughout the whole game, do what teams do to us. And I think it showed today with everybody in Gabs, the amount of steals we have from multiple different people. So I think just doing that consistently, like Destiny said, is going to win us big games.
Sean?
Ronnie, just what was just key in your mind to going out, to staying foul free that last, I think, 38 minutes whenever you came back in? I think went out at like 8:58 with those 2 quick ones. Just how much pride do you have in being able to kind of finish a game out like that after such a kind of rough start?
First, I just think my coach is helping me adjust to stuff like that, letting me know what I did wrong instead of just letting me know, hey, you fouled, do this better next time. So I feel like going to them and having them be able to give me their opinions on what I can do better the next time. And I think the rest of the game, I just followed what they said and, just stayed positive on defense, no fouls. So,
Destiny, obviously you got your 1,500 points. One, I don't know if you knew you were close or not. What does that milestone mean to you, and what did it mean to you to, usually those things don't get called out in the middle of the game, but you got, they kind of gave you a moment that way. So just tell us about that experience and what you think of it.
Just really blessed. Growing up in New York and not being that kid that was on everybody's radar, and to be able to come in college and just do what I've done. Like, I'm super blessed that God put me in a position, when I was at Howard and, coming to Wisconsin and trying to just keep that train going. So really cool opportunity to, come out here and score my 1,500th point, but even cooler that they were able to showcase that during the game like that. That was really special. And, it says a lot about my teammates that I've had over the years, just being able to find me and put me in good positions to be successful. So just really proud of myself.
I'm not sure if this is something you two can answer or if it's more of a Coach P question, in which case I'll kind of defer to her after we're done. Whose decision was it to kind of go away with the team intros? Was that like a team decision? Was that just a player's decision? And was it kind of fitting the way that you guys played tonight with a true like full team effort? Behind that, I think 11 or 12 different players scored, and I think only Brianna was the only one, I think, in double figures.
I think Coach P had brought it up and just, kind of put the idea in our heads, but it was a decision that was definitely, like, up to us. Very untraditional. I haven't seen that done. She showed us a quick video on the New England Patriots and the and the Rams. And just seeing like the intro video or intros from the Rams coming out versus, you know, New England coming out, and it just felt so different. We were feeling that through a screen. I think that trying to just put the team first and have that mindset is what we've been talking about doing, and being able to showcase that in a really cool way was you know, something that we're looking forward to doing going into, you know, the next games that we have.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the student athletes? You two are good to go.
Thank you.
Good job, Ronnie. Get some rest.
All right, we'll open up questions for Coach P. Mark, you want to start?
Yeah, Robin. I want to get your thoughts on the defense and kind of what stands out to you as you look at, you know, what your team did out there tonight.
I think it comes and goes in spurts. You know, we have some really good stretches, and I think we're learning how hard we can play. I guess that's the biggest thing I'd say. I felt like we're so much more aggressive against a Marquette team than we were Oakland, and I think, you know, we tried to maintain that tonight, and I thought we did it in stretches. Now we got to work on the backside rotations. If you're going to pressure those passing lanes, what that rotation looks on the backside of it. But I felt like we were trying to be really intentional with how hard we played and be a little bit more disruptive, not just letting cutters cut where they wanted and, you know, taking away ball reversals. And so I thought there were some really good stretches for us.
Coach, just you guys had 40 bench points tonight. Just how impressed were you with them? Just everybody kind of stepping in, like when they kind of had their number called, and it obviously you had to kind of go earlier a little bit with some fouls early on, but still just that continuous effort from the bench, being able to kind of outscore your starters. Just how big is that going forward?
Yeah, we had some predetermined rotations that we were going to put out there, just knowing that it was the third game in such, you know, a short span, and we've got another one coming up, and so felt like it was going to be important to get to our bench. And, you know, I just think there was some young lady, I mean, they work so hard in practice, and it's really cool to see their teammates celebrate them when they get those opportunities. And, you know, that's the hard thing. You got 15 players, and rotations become really, really challenging. And we all know, you know, as you get further in the season, it gets, you know, smaller and tighter and whatnot. But I feel like they've done a really good job staying engaged. You know, they've practiced really hard. And, you know, for a young lady, well, I mean, I could go up and down the lineup with the ones that came off the bench. I just think there was some really great moments and stretches for a lot of them.
I want to get your thoughts on Gift today in terms of, you know, if you look at her production in the minutes, it was pretty good. But I guess I'm just want to get your thoughts on where you see her kind of, you know, coming along.
Yeah, I think she's really proud of her. You know, she's a great addition to our program. I think she's got a really high ceiling. She's got some really good athleticism. You know, I think, you know, we just got to continue to help her with her execution on both sides of the ball, really, at different times. But she's, you know, just such a tremendous rebounder. I think there's so much more that she can bring for us, and I think she's learning that every day. I think, you know, she's a young lady that the more film she watches, the more we can talk through it with her. We're going to continue to see her move the needle, but has a chance to be really special for us.
Coach, obviously big to force the amount of turnovers you guys did and with the amount of steals you had as well. But even more important to be able to capitalize on that. Just what impressed you about the team's ability to really finish off those extra opportunities with 32 points off of turnovers?
Yeah, you know, I thought we missed more shots than I would have liked. You know, I thought we had some good looks, and, you know, we didn't knock them down at the level that I hope that we can on a consistent basis. But, you know, I felt like we were trying to be really intentional about getting out in transition. You know, I've seen us improve in that area as well in regards to showing up in our right spacing and trying to flow out of it from there. You know, I think they're still learning each other. You know, and you can say, well, you guys have been together since June. Well, there's a whole install in addition to getting to know each other, and so a lot of new players. But you know, I think we continue to move the needle, and that's the thing. You know, tomorrow we're going to be 0-0, and it's a new day, and, you know, we got to really be where our feet are and continue to try to learn and grow from the adversities, from the wins, things that we're doing well that we need to continue to do, and areas that we need to, you know, make adjustments and improve in. So it's going to be a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's day by day. But really trying to lean into our standards and how we want to play and the behaviors that we want to show up with. And I think if you consistently do that, you're going to move the needle.
You know, with this stretch of 5 games in 3 days, I guess I'm wondering from a practice standpoint, you know, how do you handle that, especially early in the year?
As a coach, you want more practice time, my friend. It's hard, right? Because you need to take you want to work on the things that execution that you need to do a better job with, but at the same time, you're really limited. And so I think as a player, it's great, you know, to have so many games in such a short span. But as a coach, you want more practice time. But you know, I think, you know, a lot of it's just, you know, I'm really blessed with a great coaching staff and, you know, making sure we're cutting tape and pulling players aside, watching it together as a team, but also individually. And so we can continue to learn and grow in that space.
Okay. And I guess I was just thinking, like, from a, you know, with it being early in the season, I guess I'm wondering, like, do you, like, if this were later in the year, I imagine that, you know, you would maybe kind of, you know, give the players a little more rest because it's later in the year. I guess I'm wondering early in the season, how do you handle that part of it? Like with this, are you kind of going through your typical workload of practice because it's early in the season and you're trying to get, you know, things installed, or are you, you know, because of the number of games, you know, kind of maybe pulling back a little bit in terms of how you handle practice?
I mean, when you have 4 games in 8 days, those days in between are, you know, mostly film. You know, we do a lot of stretching. You know, we'll do film individually and collectively, maybe some light shooting, but you're really not much. I mean, they're pretty light days of practice. It's just too big of a load when you look at what they do, 4 games in 8 days.
Any other questions for Coach? Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate you guys.